Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Institute for Integrative Conservation info session focused on our conservation research program. My name is Erica Groot. I'm the Research Program Manager at the Institute for Integrative Conservation. The purpose of this info session is to provide William & Mary undergraduate students with information on the ways in which they can get involved in applied research done alongside external conservation partners and faculty. We will be specifically talking about the year-long conservation research program that begins in January of 2024. So we'll be going through application requirements and details here specifically for students interested in applying. As we all know, biodiversity is inextricably linked with human well-being. But as we see dramatic loss of biodiversity as a result of a changing climate, land development, pollution, as well as many other causes, we recognize the importance of developing integrative solutions to help ensure that we can protect biodiversity and human well-being in the future. The Institute for Integrative Conservation at the College of William & Mary was established in January of 2020 to help solve this pressing challenge. We aim to bring together William & Mary students and faculty, alumni, parents, and staff from across William & Mary's various schools and departments, as well as external conservation partners, which might include nonprofit organizations, government agencies, Indigenous peoples, local communities, and private corporations, to work together to co-design research projects that help address conservation challenges in the field. Our mission is to cultivate an inclusive community of creative leaders to deliver integrative solutions to the world's most pressing conservation challenges. One of our foundational programs is our conservation research program, which matches William & Mary undergraduate students and faculty with external conservation partners to complete applied research as identified by these partners that is needed in order to support those partners with applied research needed to advance their real-world conservation outcomes. We also aim to work together with these external partners to build a diverse generation of principled, compassionate, and innovative leaders who are prepared to advance integrative and just conservation solutions. Our aim really is to match William & Mary expertise with the applied needs of conservation partners. So we have a unique model in that we start by asking our external partners to propose challenges or projects that we can help them address that will help them with advancing their conservation outcomes. We then work backwards and build integrative teams of students, both William & Mary students, but also students from local universities or from local areas where the conservation work is being done, faculty, and conservation partners to complete that applied research. Students are matched with projects based on their experiences, their majors, as well as their own unique experiences that they bring to these projects. We have a unique model in that we ask partners to propose real projects, real challenges that they're facing in the field. So in that case, no one really knows the answer. And so we believe that by bringing those conservation partners and their expertise together with faculty and students from across William & Mary, together we can explore potential solutions, bringing together our unique skills, backgrounds, perspectives, cultures, to really think about unique solutions to these applied challenges. The students really are the lead researchers on these teams. They work together with the conservation partners to identify their goals and to better understand how they'll use the research to advance their mission. They also work with faculty to get support to complete the research, but they really are the researchers guiding the team through the process of completing these applied projects. The deliverables that the students complete through these programs are determined primarily by the external partners, but in collaboration with the students. Our aim is to produce research deliverables, knowledge, and other deliverables such as maps, social media graphics, really anything that the partners need in order to support their work. We want it to be useful for them. So by design, because we want these projects to be applied, the projects tend to evolve throughout the program. So the students as the lead researchers with support from their partners and faculty mentors will navigate the challenges, identify research objectives, and will adapt the project as necessary in order to ensure it does meet the needs of the partners. Through this experience, addressing a real conservation challenge, students have an opportunity to build not only their research skills, but also their professional skills that will benefit them throughout their time here at William & Mary, but also throughout their careers. And because the students are working in close collaboration with external partners and their network, students get a firsthand look into careers in the conservation field and have an opportunity to network. The ISC has several different formats in which we support student-led research alongside conservation partners. Each semester, we host a conservation GIS lab in the fall and spring semesters, where students work on applied projects in collaboration with an external partner that requires GIS or remote sensing or data science. Students interested in signing up for the GIS lab should follow the IIC website. We'll be advertising the next opportunities in January for the spring semester. We also provide semester-long projects for students to work in collaboration with external partners. Like the GIS lab, these will be advertised a month before each semester, so the next advertisement will go up in January in preparation for the spring semester. And then finally, we have a year-long conservation research program, which we'll be talking about today. And currently we're seeking student applicants for the next year-long program that will begin in January of 2024. And the application for that program is due on October 25th. The year-long conservation research program was designed to build integrative teams to address real challenges that our conservation partners are facing. So we ask our conservation partners to submit proposals for applied conservation challenges that they would like students and faculty to help them address through this year-long format. In the spring semester, students work alongside the conservation partner and a faculty mentor to write a research proposal. This involves a review of the literature relevant to that project. It requires working with the partner to identify potential data that might be available to address their problem. The students work with necessary William & Mary offices to review their approaches and methods that they plan to take to either collect data from human subjects or to work with animals if necessary. And then they develop a timeline that will then go into a full proposal that will outline the way in which they will address their conservation research project over the summer. Throughout the spring semester, the students will enroll in 2 credits of independent research. They can determine the credits based on the project, their major, and the sections that their faculty mentors have available. Throughout the spring semesters, the students will meet weekly with their faculty mentors and their conservation partners as they identify their research objectives and move through the process of developing their research proposal. And then finally, the students in the spring will participate in a weekly lab meeting with other student researchers in the program, where they'll learn about the steps for writing a research proposal, as well as support each other through the process of writing and preparing for their research over the summer. Over the summer, the students will receive a $4,000 award from the IIC to complete their research full-time. This requires on average, a 30-hour per week over 10-week commitment from the student researchers. If travel is required for the research projects, the IIC will cover travel expenses, but students are required to travel to collect data or conduct whatever fieldwork is necessary for that specific project. I will note that not all projects require travel. Some projects are done remotely, and in that case, the students can complete the projects from wherever they're planning on locating over the summer. Throughout the summer, the students continue to lead weekly meetings with their faculty mentors and conservation partners, and they continue to participate in a weekly lab meeting with their student research cohort. Finally, in the fall semester, after completing their research, the students spend the semester analyzing and summarizing and communicating their research findings to their target audiences. This includes completing a written report for your conservation partners, as well as presenting your findings to a non-scientific audience through a poster or an oral presentation. We also, as I mentioned, identify a set of deliverables at the beginning of the program alongside our partners, which could include a map, it could include social media, it could include a website. So students are asked in that fall semester to complete any deliverables identified by the student and the partner early in the process. In the fall semester, the students register for 2 credits of independent research again. They continue meeting regularly with their faculty, mentors, and conservation partners, and they continue to participate in a weekly lab meeting with their cohort to walk through the process of writing their research report and practice communicating their research findings to diverse audiences. Students involved in this program are expected to commit to the full year-long program. This is important because we promise our conservation partners that we will complete the project deliverables that we identify early in the spring semester. It's also important because for students to really receive the maximum benefit from this program regarding research skills and professional skills, they really need to complete the full program. This includes weekly meetings throughout the full year-long program, as well as weekly lab meetings throughout the full year-long program. We also ask students to conduct themselves in a professional manner. Students are going to be working in close collaboration with external partners, as well as their collaborators, representing not only themselves and the partner organization, but also the IIC and William and Mary. Because the students are the lead researchers, working with their partner organization, as well as receiving feedback and support from faculty mentors, we ask the students to ensure that the project continues to meet an applied need for the conservation partners. So continuing to ask them what their needs are, how they plan to use this information, the realities of what it's like to apply research to management or conservation action on the ground is critical for the student to ensure that the work is going to be useful. Because the students are part of interdisciplinary teams and are going to be working with various audiences, regardless of the project, we ask students to demonstrate cultural sensitivity, a humility, an acknowledgement that we have an incredible opportunity to work with partners and their collaborators on these applied projects. And we ask students to demonstrate a willingness to learn from local communities along the way. Because the IIC believes that real integrative conservation solutions will come when we can bridge the gaps between academia and conservation and between groups of people, because we all bring some level of expertise to these challenges. We also ask our students to work collaboratively on these interdisciplinary teams and embody the IIC values. The IIC will provide students enrolled in this program with a $4,000 award in order to complete their research full-time over the summer. This award is meant to just support the students' personal expenses to complete the research full-time for about 30 hours a week over 10 weeks over the summer period. If travel is required for a project, the IIC will cover travel expenses that align with William and Mary policies. In general, this includes travel to the site where the research is being conducted. So this could be a train ticket, a flight, mileage. It includes accommodation if a student is needing to spend the night in the location to complete the work. In many cases, this is paying for accommodation at a research station or a hotel in the area where the research is being done, as well as meals or per diem if the students are going to be conducting research for multiple days. We also cover any other relevant research expenses. This, as long as they align with William and Mary policies. Students work with me throughout the spring semester to develop a budget for their research to ensure that everyone's in alignment as far as what the students will cover, and to ensure that all travel expenses covered by the IIC follow William and Mary standard travel policies. Students also receive two credits of independent research in the spring and fall semester. Through this program, they also have an opportunity to build up their resume. In some cases, students have been able to produce a manuscript or a website or a technical report that has been useful for students as they're applying for internships or jobs or graduate school post William and Mary. Students also get an incredible experience to work on an interdisciplinary team through this program, where they build their professional and leadership skills. They also have an opportunity to help contribute to an inclusive cohort of students through the lab. Because students are working on projects that have been proposed by external partners, they have an opportunity to experience what it's like to apply research findings to advance conservation outcomes, action, policy, and management on the ground. and have an opportunity to learn about careers in conservation experience. And finally, students have an opportunity to get a multicultural experience, whether that's with their team of researchers or with the communities or other partners that they engage with through the program. William and Mary students with any major or minor are encouraged to apply for this program. In fact, we're looking for students specifically who are majoring in topics that maybe isn't super aligned with conservation, but directly aligned with the projects. William and Mary students must be enrolled undergraduate students at the time of the application and throughout the full year-long program. And they must graduate on or after December 2024. So unfortunately, current seniors are not eligible for the next year-long program because they have to be able to commit to the summer and the fall portions of the program. Students are only allowed to participate in the year-long program once, but as I mentioned earlier, we have many opportunities for students to get involved in research through the Conservation GIS Lab or the semester-long projects. Students must commit to the full program on campus here at William and Mary in the spring semester and the fall semester. If the project requires that the student is on campus over the summer or traveling over the summer, that is required. But if the project can be done over the summer remotely, it's up to the student to decide where they want to do that work. Students must be eligible for William and Mary employment. They must understand and commit to the student expectations. They must be able to travel if required for the project. And they should show a commitment to advancing integrative and just conservation solutions. The applications for the next year-long conservation research program in 2024 opened in September and are due on October 25th. Students interested in applying for this program should start by reviewing the program requirements and schedule. And then they should review the list of projects that students will be matched with in 2024. And in that review of the project descriptions, they should identify their top 3 preferred projects. They should look at the skills or the topics required of each of the projects. They should look at the prereqs that are required. They should understand the type of field work and should ensure that they're comfortable with the level of travel and the level of community interaction for the projects that they select. How to apply. You can access the application for the year-long conservation program on the IIC website. As I mentioned, you should start by reviewing the requirements and project descriptions. Then you click on a link to the application, which is a Qualtrics application, basically a survey. Well, you'll start by uploading your background information that will be used to process your application, which asks you to include your name, email, your major, your minor, your 93 number, confirmation that you understand and can commit to the program requirements. And we ask you to explain briefly why you're interested in the program. This is background information that will be used to process your application. In that same Qualtrics application, we then ask you to convince us that you are a good fit for this program and for the research projects. This could be either a 1-page letter of interest or a 3-minute video. And you can submit this through that same Qualtrics link. The IIC Research Committee will be reviewing all of the applications. What we're looking for is a clear commitment and enthusiasm for conservation, a reflection on the unique skills, perspectives, hobbies, talents, and interests you bring to the projects, a list of your top 3 preferred projects, and an explanation of your interest and relevant skills for those projects. And finally, a reflection on what you hope to get out of the program. If you have any questions about the application or the program or any of the projects, you can stop by the IIC house to see me on Wednesday afternoons from 3 to 5 or during our Friday coffee session at 11 a.m. The IIC house is a white house just around the corner from Aromas at 221 North Boundary Street. Or you can email me to set up a time to meet. After we receive all of the applications on October 25th, the IIC Research Committee does a blind review of the applications and we use the characteristics I just explained in a rubric format to select successful applicants. From there, we try to match students to their preferred projects. This might include some short interviews to ensure that students are familiar with and are comfortable with the level of travel. All students will be notified in late October, early November if they are accepted to the program and matched with the project. And if students are selected and travel is required for the project, they'll be asked to complete paperwork in November in order to ensure that they're prepared for the program's start in January. This includes travel documents if required. The first cohort meeting and first lab meeting will start in the spring semester in late January. On the website, you'll see a link to frequently asked questions. This is where you can get answers to some of your pressing questions and questions that we hear most commonly from William & Mary students. And as I mentioned, there are plenty of opportunities to get involved in the IIC. I suggest signing up for the IIC mailing list, where you'll learn about upcoming opportunities and application opportunities as well. As I mentioned, we have the semester-long projects, the Conservation GIS projects. We also have integrative conservation courses, a major and a minor in integrative conservation, events. We have a student leadership council, several student assistant positions, and we also encourage you to come to us with ideas for how you can get involved. To find the application for the year-long conservation research program, go to the IIC website and click on research. This is where you'll see a broad overview of the types of research projects that we provide. You'll then see a link to the application for the year-long program. This will take you to a page with information on the year-long program, including steps to apply to the program, the calendar, eligibility, program requirements, the support the IIC provides, travel requirements, application tips, and information about student selection. On this page, you'll also find a link to the project descriptions for 2024. This is where you have a list of the projects that students will be matched with. These are projects that were identified and proposed by external partners. If you click on the list, if you click on a project, you'll see the title of the project, the location where the research is being done, the conservation partners, the faculty mentor the students will work with, a brief and broad description of the project, the travel that's required, the skills required or the skills either required or desired, and a description of the ideal fit for a student for that project. We ask students to review each one of the projects and select their top 3. After selecting your top 3 projects, please go to the bottom of this page and click on the application. This will take you to the Qualtrics spreadsheet. This spreadsheet asks you to first include background information that will be used for processing your application. It asks for a brief description of how you see conservation linked to your major, an acknowledgement that you understand and agree to the program requirements, and then a brief description of why you're applying for the 2024 year-long conservation research program. Then we ask students to list their first, second, and third choice projects and provide a brief explanation for why you're interested in and why you think you're a good fit for that project. We ask you to do this so that we can match you with your preferred project or a project that is the best fit for you. Finally, we ask you to submit either a 1-page letter or a 3-minute video expressing your interest and fit for the program. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to reviewing your application. Please reach out to me if you have any questions and sign up for the IIC mailing list to learn more. Thank you.